Hi everyone, this is Cindy with Twisted True Crime. Hope you're all doing well. Found out some interesting information I wanted to share about Nicole Kessinger being a state witness. There's a report in the discovery documents dated August 27th with the FBI that she had a face-to-face interview right down the street, really, from her home in Majestic View Park, Arvada, Colorado. Of course, she was accompanied by her father, Dwayne. She can't seem to do anything without her father. And after being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, she decided to start coming clean and disclosed information, thinking she's in trouble. What's interesting is she is officially referred to as a protected witness. She is not in the witness protection program. It's on page 376 in Discovery Files. All along, I have suspected she was offered some kind of immunity in exchange for her testimony against Watts at trial. Usually, if you're going to testify against someone, you get some type of immunity. But surprise, a surprise, he pled guilty, so all her little scrubbing of her phone and deleting messages really didn't matter anymore. Which is why a lot of us question where she is, we're upset, we're a little angry. It's partially because she knew he was married and she lied about it. And it's also partially because she knew about gorgeous Shanann, his wife, yet she lied about that. And she definitely knew Shanann was pregnant, which she definitely lied about. And she absolutely knew about Bella and Cece because she was constantly looking up Shanann and Watts on Facebook. So it kind of struck a nerve with many of us who suspect that Shanann, who is a beautiful, selfless, and wonderful mom, and her babies would still be alive if he had just, and she had just, kept business as business. So here's a telephone conversation between Kessinger and Kevin Koback. He offers her so much sympathy as a victim and a lot of legal advice. August 17th, 2018. So here we go.
I think that they are going to do anything to you. I don't think so. I mean, if you read the paper today, you saw they already fired Chris. I mean,
as they should, but right. I'm hoping they're not going to fire me.
Well, and I think you need to head that up. I think if it was me, and this is just a personal, this is not a professional opinion, it's a personal opinion, because I'm trying to help you as much as I can. I would reach out to your employer and just say, I want to come in and talk to you, but maybe talk to your EAP people first, and let me get you in touch with a victim advocate, because again, I think your mental health is more important right now than even your employment. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable and safe in everything that's happening, and then make some professional decisions and in regards to your employment. Okay. So let me do that.
And go ahead.
No, I have a couple more questions that don't relate to anything that we just talked about. Is there anything else that you remembered last night that you want to address?
Yeah, a few. So I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And then we can talk about that whole thing too, because I was actually going to see if I could email them today. I was going to email my upper boss, and I was actually going to call her and see and just ask her if she can have, she's Anadarko rep, see if she can have a scheduled sit down with my employer Tasman and schedule sit down with EAP, and I want to get in a room with them all at the same time and just give them kind of a brief synopsis of what's going on and just ask them for help and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
But I was going to
I think that's a good plan.
Say to them and just ask your opinion on it, because I don't want to give them too much.
You do not need to tell them anything about the investigation or anything about what we discussed. From my standpoint, the investigative pieces that we've talked about, and specifically things that relate directly to why something may have happened or time frames or things like that, they don't need to know that. I think...
Oh, I wasn't going to tell them that. I was just going to let them know that I was...
You were in a relationship with
this
him.
Case, and that that I'm like a witness to this case, and that right now it's pretty quiet, but, you know, in a few weeks, given how everything goes, it might become kind of a media frenzy. And I was just going to tell them, like, you know, I mean, I didn't commit any crimes, and I'm not in trouble, but I'm working with the prosecutor to try to help to bring some closure to this horrible thing, and then just tell them, like, you know, I don't think the media is going to portray a very nice picture of me, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance, and you know.
I think that your projection of whatever is going to happen with the media can be reserved until that time. I know that's like your biggest fear in this, but right now I would not even I wouldn't address anything that hasn't happened. I think I would simply tell them, look, I am involved in this case, I'm a witness, and I, you know, whether or not, I think they already know it, and I'm sure Anadarko is going to talk with whoever your employer is to make them aware of that. And then, hey, I had a relationship with this guy, and that's all they need to know. They don't need to know anything else. And then, I mean, you have to protect your employment and your personal well-being. So think of the best way to do that, and just minimal information. You don't have to tell them very much, but I do think you're on the right track of getting ahead of it. But again, I'm not an attorney, especially a labor attorney, so you have to make decisions for yourself on that. But some of the people here in the victim advocate realm may be able to give you some better advice than I.
I was hoping to do that today.
Sure, I will make a phone call today and
get the ball rolling on this.
Yep.
Because I would like to either go to work on Monday or like figure out what is going on with like a fresh week and like try to put my life together, because I think it will help.
Yeah, I think getting back to work and not sitting there and dwelling on this at every moment is going to be very beneficial to you. So I will reach out to those people who handle that today. If I had a name, I'd give it to you. I don't, but I'll see who's available. Okay. So what other?
I want to reach out to them today.
Okay. As soon as we're done here, I'll make that my next priority.
Thank you.
What other things is there that you thought of last night?
So I don't know when this phone conversation happened. I think that this was Monday at some point as well. I think it might have even been the same phone conversation as him washing the sheets and everything. I think it might have been the same conversation. He informed me that her friend Nikki's son was at the house when the cops came, and that he was running all over the house and up and down in all the rooms. And at this point, I was like, well, is anything missing? Because I was thinking on Monday that this girl had just left for the night. So I was like, well, maybe if she's staying with Nikki or somebody, maybe she forgot some stuff. So maybe they're sending, they're like sending him in, like, hey, go get a toothbrush or go get this or go get that. Like, I didn't know. And so he's like, yeah, this little kid was like running all over my house and in all the different rooms in the house. And I was like, well, is anything missing? And he was like, well, I think there's some blankets missing from my kids' rooms, but I don't think he took them. I think she did.
Okay. So he said little kid. Do you know how old this man was or boy was?
Oh, Nikki's son? I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's like 10 or 12. Like, I think he's like a, yeah. I don't know. I think he's like 10 or 12. Like, old enough to, like, process information and run around house.
So he said he thought that the kid didn't take him, but that maybe Shanann had taken him.
Yes.
That's a weird. Okay. So Nikki Sonny's like 10 to 12, and I'm just making some notes. Just a sec.
Take your time.
Okay. What else?
Oh, let me see. I don't know. I feel like I had a list in my head and I almost wrote it down, but I didn't want to put it on paper.
How about this? And I was going to mention this last night, but I think both of us were pretty tired, and we were there for a long time yesterday. So if you have a thought, keep a notepad and a pen and paper with you and write it down, and then that way you don't lose it. That way, and then you can just call me and we can discuss it, and we're done, and then move on. Then you don't have to think about it anymore. Does that sound like a decent idea?
It does.
Okay.
I don't know what else I was going to tell you. When we FaceTime too. So let me go back to that too. So
Okay.
I think all of this was on Monday. So I think both the comments about the blankets and the sheets were on that first phone call on Monday. And then directly after that phone call, there was like a brief FaceTime. And when I FaceTimed him, he was laying on a bed that didn't have any sheets on it.
Okay.
And I remember, and he was like in just like a little wife beater top, and he didn't really say much. It was like he wanted me to talk to him. He's like, I just wanted to see your face. And he like wanted me to talk to him, but he was like kind of quiet. And actually, that was why I got off the phone with him and went and did laundry. And then so I would call him back on the phone, because when we were FaceTiming, it was like kind of weird. I was like, I don't really know where this is going. Like, you're not really having a conversation with me.
So
like,
he was just removed. He wasn't very engaged in the conversation.
He was just like really fixated on like me. Like, I bet you if I wouldn't have talked, he would have been okay with it.
So, as a protected witness, in exchange, Rourke, who is the prosecuting attorney, said he was not on a witch hunt. I suspect she was guilty of something a heck of a lot worse than being a homewrecker. I mean, really, are the pickings that slim in Colorado with all those guys out in the oil fields that you have to date a co-worker and a married man? And if she was so worried about losing her job, she would have found someone else to play with, like Jim or some guy at the bar. They're both narcissistic as hell. And have overinflated egos. All she worries about is herself. Him too. So who knows what evidence she was going to provide at the trial, because really there's nothing in the discovery documents. Much. What do you guys think? Since he caught the plea deal, shouldn't that little bargaining chip be off the table now? I mean, really, scrubbing phones, telling him to open up side bank accounts, telling him to erase his phone, delete all of his social networking sites. She was just instructing him on how to do everything. She has selective memory. She's a sociopath. So here's a message for the Watts and Kessinger fan club. I don't really give a flying you-know-what, starring me. I'm bracing myself for the negativity, so bring it on. Please comment, you guys. Love you all. Have a great day. Hope the audio was good enough. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.